and welcome to ASMR Decadence. Yet again, I'm here with you. Good evening. Today, I'd like to show you a book in my possession. It is an antique collection of the works of the poet John Keats, and if you like, I will read some of it to you. On the cover here we have a Latin motto. It says, Palem qui meruit ferat, which means, let he who earns the palm bear it. This is a reference to Roman victories receiving palms as a symbol of their success. And inside we see an inscription. This book was presented by G.W. Beardmore, Esquire, to G.A. Meek as an acknowledgement of merit and as a reward for attainment in general proficiency at Upper Canada College on October 15th, 1926. So as you can see, this was given to a high school student in the 1920s. And there's this beautiful marble paper binding. The book itself comes from Oxford University Press, and this edition was printed in 1922. Here we see the poet John Keats from a drawing by Joseph Sever. John Keats was born on October 31st, 1795, and he died at a very young age of tuberculosis. He was only 25 when he died. He had gone to live in Rome because the climate was better there. But it was to no avail, and the second wave of romantic poets lost a great artist. see an engraving of Shakespeare. I will read to you from Keats's Endymion. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but still will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Therefore on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and o'er-darkened ways made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils, with the green world they live in, and clear rills, that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. The mid-forest brake, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk-rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. All lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink, pouring unto us from the heaven's brink. Nor do we merely feel these essences for one short hour. No, even as the trees that whispered round a temple become soon dear as the temple's self, so does the moon, the passion posy, glories infinite, haunt us till they become a cheering light unto our souls, and bound to us so fast that whether there be shine or gloom o'ercast, they always must be with us, or we die. This is just the intro to a very long form poem, which goes for many pages and is inspired by Greek mythology, by the story of Endymion. But I am enchanted by the introduction, which gives us Keats's philosophy and that of romantic philosophy in general, the primacy of beauty, and the joy that it brings us, even in the darkest times. This book itself is a thing of beauty. I do hope you'll enjoy the beautiful paper and the binding. It has a leather cover with gold etchings on it. You may see the spine. Keats' Poetical Works, Oxford. very delicate, as it's over 100 years old. But if you like, I will read another for you. This next one is Ode to a Nightingale. My heart aches, and a drowsy numbness pains my sense, as though of hemlock I had drunk, or emptied some dull opiate to the drains 1 minute past, and lethe words had sunk. 'Tis not through envy of thy happy lot, but being too happy in thine happiness, that thou, light-winged dryad of the trees, in some melodious plot of beechen green and shadows numberless, singest of summer in full-throated ease. Oh, for a draught of vintage, that hath been cooled a long age in the deep-delved earth, tasting of flora and the country green, dance and Provençal song, and sunburnt mirth. Oh, for a beaker full of the warm south, full of the true, the blushful hippocrene, with beaded bubbles winking at the brim, and purple-stained mouth, that I might drink, and leave the world unseen, and with thee fade away into the forest dim. Fade far away, dissolve, and quite forget, wouldst thou among the leaves hast never known, the weariness, the fever, and the fret, here where men sit and hear each other groan, where palsy shakes a few sad last grey hairs, where youth grows pale and spectre thin and dies, where but to think is to be full of sorrow, and leaden-eyed despairs, where beauty cannot keep her lustrous eyes, or new love pine at them beyond tomorrow. Away, away, for I will fly to thee, not charioted by Bacchus and his bards, but on the viewless wings of poesy, through the dull brain perplexes and retards, already with thee, tender is the night, and happily the queen moon is on her throne, clustered around by all her starry face. But here there is no light, save what from heaven is with the breeze blown, through verdurous glooms and winding mossy ways. I cannot see what flowers are at my feet, nor what soft incense hangs upon the boughs, but in embalmed darkness guess each sweet wherewith the seasonable month endows, the grass, the thicket, and the fruit tree wild, white hawthorn, and the pastoral eglantine, fast fading violets cover up in leaves, and mid-May's eldest child, the coming musk rose full of dewy wine, the murmurous haunt of flies on summer eves. Darkling I listen, and for many a time I have been half in love with easeful death, called him soft names in many a mused rhyme, to take into the air my quiet breath. Now more than ever seems it rich to die, to cease upon the midnight with no pain, while thou art pouring forth thy soul abroad in such an ecstasy. Still wouldst thou sing, and I have ears in vain, to thy high requiem become a sod. Thou wast not born for death, immortal bird. No hungry generations tread thee down. The voice I hear this passing night was heard in ancient days by emperor and clown. Perhaps the selfsame song that found a path through the sad heart of Ruth, when, sick for home, she stood in tears amidst the alien corn, the same that oft times hath charmed magic casements, opening in the foam of perilous seas in fairy lands forlorn. Forlorn, the very word is like a bell, to toll me back from thee to my sole self. Adieu, the fancy cannot cheat so well as she is famed to do, deceiving elf. Adieu, adieu, thy plainted anthem fades, past the near meadows, over the still stream, up the hillside, and now 'tis buried deep in the next valley glades. Was it a vision or a waking dream? Fled is that music, do I wake or sleep? Perhaps you would like to hear one last one. I shall read Ode on a Grecian Urn. Thou still unravished bride of quietness, thou foster child of silence and slow time, sylvan historian, who canst thus express a flowery tale more sweetly than our rhyme. What leaf-fringed legend haunts about thy shape, of deities or mortals or both, in Tempe or the dales of Arcady? What men or gods are these? What maiden's love? What mad pursuit? What struggle to escape? What pipes and timbrels? What wild ecstasy? Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Therefore, ye soft pipes, play on. Not to the sensual ear, but more endeared, pipe to the spirit ditties of no tone. Fair youth, beneath the trees, thou canst not leave thy song, nor ever can those trees be bare. Bold lover, never, never canst thou kiss, thou winning near the goal, yet do not grieve. She cannot fade, though thou hast not thy bliss, for ever wilt thou love, and she be fair. Ah, happy, happy boughs, that cannot shed your leaves, nor ever bid the spring adieu, and happy melodist unwearied, for ever piping songs forever new. More happy love, more happy, happy love, forever warm and still to be enjoyed, forever panting and forever young, all breathing human passion far above, that leaves a heart high sorrowful and cloyed, a burning forehead and a parching tongue. Who are these coming to the sacrifice? To what green altar, O mysterious priest? Ledd'st thou that heifer lowing at the skies, and all her silken flanks with garlands dressed? What little town by river or seashore, or mountain built with peaceful citadel, is emptied of this folk this pious morn? And little town, thy streets forevermore will silent be, and not a soul to tell why thou art desolate can e'er return. O Attic shape, fair attitude, with breed of marble men and maidens overwrought, with forest branches and the trodden weed, thou silent form dost tease us out of thought, as doth eternity, cold pastoral. When old age shall this generation waste, thou shalt remain in midst of other woe, then ours, a friend to man, to whom thou sayest, beauty is truth, truth beauty, that is all ye know on earth, and all ye need to know. Even if you did not know who John Keats is, I'm sure you've heard the phrase, beauty is truth, truth beauty, before. composition of Severin's drawing, forming the frontispiece to this edition. You can see the similarities between the mask and the portrait. Born on Halloween makes him an iconic Scorpio. If you would like to see a movie about John Keats, I may recommend the film Bright Star, which details his romance with a woman named Fanny Braun. It is an exquisitely beautiful movie, and I recommend you seek it out if you like romance or history or poetry. And if you don't like any of those things, then I'm not sure why you're watching this video. And so, in honor of Fanny Braun, I will leave you with the brief sonnet that he wrote for her. Bright star, would I were steadfast as thou art, not in lone splendor hung aloft the night in watching, with eternal lids apart, like nature's patient sleepless eremite. The moving waters, at their priest-like task of pure ablution round earth's human shores, or gazing on the new soft-fallen mask of snow upon the mountains and the moors, no, yet still steadfast, still unchangeable, pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast, to feel forever its soft fall and swell, awake forever in the sweet unrest, still, still, to hear her tender taken breath, and so live ever, or else swoon to death. Thank you again for joining me here on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments. Press that tender like button or subscribe